While many of Korea's industries are seeing slower growth, there's one industry that is expected to generate 8 trillion won in sales just this year, with growth doubling in 3 years. It is the outdoor gear industry. Why have outdoor products become so popular in Korea? Will such a growth trend continue? I sat down with Kang Tae-sun, the CEO of Black Yak, the first company in the industry to enter foreign markets. Mr. Kang, thank you so much for your time today. Tell us about Black Yak. What kind of products does it provide, and what are your main products?
Black Yak was founded on February the 1st, 1973. I made the company because I like hiking and I wanted to make the equipment I would need to hike up mountains. It started out with mostly camping equipment and expanded into outdoor wear in the 90s. And then we started making functional clothing by importing functional material like Gore-Tex from the US. So now we are making products that function to protect the stamina of professional mountaineers who climb the Himalayas or Antarctic expeditions and other explorers and researchers.
It was often reported by foreign media that Korean people are wearing hiking gear for traveling or shopping. Hiking gear has become so commonplace that the overall market size has expanded so quickly. How did all this happen?
In our country, mountains were largely considered the territory of men in the past. It was mostly men who went to the mountains because it was considered to be dangerous. But in recent times, economic growth and changes in social atmosphere have led to the increase of women actively heading to the mountains. In other words, our consumer base is not only composed of men, but of a growing number of women. Also, upon wearing outdoor wear, women have been saying that it's more comfortable. Because it's so comfortable, they are wearing the clothing when they go shopping, or when they meet their friends, or when they go to reunions, or when they go exercising. As women have started consuming our products, our consumer base has grown, and because of the comfort factor, our products are being worn for more varied uses and thereby expanding the market.
Korea's outdoor apparel market grew more than fivefold in the past 8 years. However, the extent of the competition has become so intense with the increasing number of market participants. So what is your outlook on the overall market?
Yes, that is correct. We've seen rapid growth since 2005, more than 30% to 40% growth every year. Following this, outdoor wear has established footing in the country's fashion industry. It goes to show how quickly the market has grown. Naturally, competition inevitably gets intense. A market is composed of an economic market. As the competition gets fiercer, growth continues. It's likely that if competition hadn't gotten this intense, this high level of growth wouldn't have happened. The market expands in order to survive amidst fierce competition. More advertising will happen as well.
As the outdoor gear market is growing more mature and saturated, there is a growing need for finding a new source of revenue. And Black Yak is Korea's first outdoor gear company to make a foray into the Chinese market. How has Black Yak done so far since it launched the China business in 1998?
Some people say that Korea's outdoor market is in its maturity, but I think it's premature. I believe the growth period will last for longer. Of course, I'm sure it will be different for every company. And certainly, a growth period can be divided by a high growth period and a low growth period, but I don't think it has matured yet. We expanded into China in January the 10th, 1998, and this was for the sake of Korea's growth. In 1970s Korea, people said, "Who goes to the mountains?" as they called us crazy when we started selling hiking gear. I was in my early 20s then, and this is where I am now. When we entered the Chinese market, we were likely the first outdoor wear business in Beijing. People thought it was strange, as if they had come to a zoo. Then, if you ask, why did you go there when it's growing in Korea? There needs to be growth abroad. If a problem occurs in Korea, we aren't looking for the source from abroad. There needs to be expansion abroad for shared growth. For Black Yak to grow domestically, it must become a global brand. If it doesn't grow into a global brand, there will be limitations for growth in Korea as well. We will begin by mastering China, our closest market, and then move to Europe and then America. This way, we can emphasize this image in Korea and continue to grow. This is why we expanded to China. Thanks to continued growth in China, we are growing 30 to 40% every year. And due to this, I think we will be able to see shared growth in Korea and China, as well as in Europe.
You have recently hired a German marketing specialist as a global marketing director. Is this part of your efforts to strengthen your presence in Europe?
Upon growing in Korea and China, if we don't gain recognition in Europe, the home of outdoor gear, we cannot become a global brand. No matter how well we sell and grow in Asia, we won't amount to more than an Asian brand. The Himalayas are without doubt the center of the outdoors, but their origins are in Europe. European outdoor culture and hiking has a history of over 140 years. Therefore, we cannot become a global brand without being recognized in Europe. Dealers and businesses in Europe have started to show much curiosity in Black Yak. They're used to seeing European styles, but upon seeing Asian colours and an Asian brand, especially a brand that is seeping with Himalayan culture, they're smitten. They're saying this is a new world. In our stores in Europe, we play Nepalese music, and Europeans have said it's like they have come to a new world. We've been getting positive responses in Italy and Turkey. Next year, Black Yak will be entering Germany, the UK, Northern Europe, thereby making a mark in Europe.
You have been mentioning that you really like mountains, and you also have climbed Himalayas. Is that true? What kind of lessons do you get from mount climbing?
I've been to countless mountains. I've been to the Himalayas 50 times. Mountaineers usually climb to reach the summit, so I'll go to the peak sometimes, and on other occasions I'll go halfway. The mountains teach honesty. Mountains are very honest. They don't tolerate lies. You can only go as far as your endurance, preparation and training takes you. If you overdo it, you could die. Accidents happen. That's what I mean by the mountains being honest. And it teaches you honesty. And it can also teach you great aspirations. The thing is, the ridges are endless in the mountains. Ridge after ridge after ridge. It gives you the hope that you could unfold any of your dreams. You think that if you can fathom a mountain this massive, there's nothing that you can't do. You lose all fear. You gain some guts. Cowardly people should go to the mountains. All you need to do is experience the enormity of the mountains. They say the higher the mountain, the deeper the valley. If you overcome something like this, your aspirations grow and you return an honest person with ambition.
Black Yak announced $650 million in revenue for the year 2013. What is your sales goal for this year and for the coming years?
This year, Black Yak's sales goal is 800 billion won. My goal is to reach 1 trillion in sales as a single brand. While that might be fairly common in other countries, there are no single brands in Korea that have reached 1 trillion in sales. There hasn't been any brand that has reached 800 billion either. If we reach 800 billion in sales, I think we will be the first domestic brands to do so. Our company's goal is to be the #1 outdoor gear company in the world by 2020. It is our dream to be the top brand in the world.
Thank you so much for your time today. It was a great pleasure talking with you.
감사합니다.